It's difficult watching the one you admire share their love with someone else, yet all you can do is silently support them from afar. Seeing them happy with someone else makes me smile, but it also stings more than I'd like to admit. Sometimes the heart wants what it cannot have, but that doesn't mean it stops hoping. The hardest part isn't realizing they're taken, it's accepting that you'll always be the one watching from the sidelines. It's strange how a person can mean so much to you, even if they don't even know how you feel. Loving someone who is already in love with someone else feels like you're constantly walking through a bittersweet dream. I keep wondering what it would be like if I were the one holding their hand, but I also know their happiness is my happiness. Every glance, every laugh makes me wish for a different reality, one where I don't have to hide how much I care. It's not about jealousy. It's about longing for something that was never meant to be. I've learned to smile when they talk about their partner, but deep down, I know my heart silently breaks each time. Watching them with someone else is a reminder that sometimes love isn't about getting what you want, but accepting what is. Sometimes I wonder if I'd be able to let go if I stopped seeing them as someone so perfect, but I can't help it. They always shine. There's a quiet pain in seeing your crush happy, knowing you're not the one they turn to when the world gets tough. Loving someone who doesn't know is a silent journey, filled with moments of joy and sorrow, all tangled together. The more I watch them, the more I realize that some feelings can't be controlled, but you learn to live with them. Maybe the hardest part is not letting go, but accepting that you may never be the one they choose. It's a strange feeling to hope they never find out how deeply I feel for them, because I don't want to complicate their happiness. Even though they have someone else, there's a part of me that will always wonder, what if? When they smile, my heart swells, but there's always that tiny ache, the one that reminds me I'm not the one they're smiling for. It's hard not to compare myself to the one they love, but I remind myself that everyone has their own unique worth. In a world where everyone's chasing love, I'll quietly wait for the day they might see me, even if I never get that chance. Seeing them so content with their girlfriend reminds me that love, while painful, is still the most beautiful thing to witness. Sometimes the heart chooses who it wants, even when that person doesn't choose you back. It's not easy being in love with someone who doesn't even know, but somehow I make peace with it every day. Watching them share their life with someone else is a reminder that love doesn't always come with the happiness you expect. They may not see me the way I see them, But I've learned that sometimes loving someone from a distance is enough. No matter how much I wish things were different, I know that their happiness is the most important thing. Every day feels like a dance between hope and reality, between what could be and what will never be. It's not easy to accept the truth when your heart keeps whispering, maybe one day, even when you know it's not meant to be. I smile because I want them to be happy, but inside, there's a quiet longing for something that will never happen. The hardest part is the silence, the one that says everything without ever being spoken out loud. Seeing them laugh with someone else is a beautiful thing, even if it makes my heart ache just a little. Sometimes I wish I could forget, but it's hard to forget someone who's so deeply embedded in my thoughts. It's strange how much love can exist for someone who doesn't even realize it. They may be happy with someone else, but in my heart, there will always be a place for them. Love can be a silent observer, a feeling that doesn't demand attention but stays with you nonetheless. Sometimes the heart holds on to things that logic tells it to let go. And I think that's what makes love so complicated. Seeing them with someone else makes me smile, but inside, I know there's a small part of me that wishes I were the one. The truth is, I'll always care, even if they never know. Some feelings don't need to be spoken to be real. I've learned to love them from afar, even if it hurts. There's something beautiful about letting someone go while still caring. There's no easy way to watch someone you love be with someone else, but I know I have to be happy for them too. It's funny how love doesn't always come with the right timing, but that doesn't make the feelings any less real. I know I'm not the one they want, but that doesn't make my feelings any less genuine. Some love stories aren't meant to be written, and maybe that's the hardest thing to accept. The more I watch them, the more I understand that love isn't always about being together. It's also about being happy for the other person. When they're happy, I'm happy, even if that happiness doesn't include me. Sometimes it's hard to let go, but the beauty of love is knowing that you can wish someone the best even when you're not the one beside them. There's a quiet strength in accepting that someone you care for will never see you the way you want them to. The space between what I feel and what they know is a vast one, but I've learned to live in that silence. It's a strange kind of love, the kind that exists in your heart, but never in their eyes. Even if they don't notice, I will always appreciate the joy they bring into my life, even from a distance. I know they love someone else, but a small part of me always wonders what it would be like if they loved me instead. It's difficult to watch them be happy with someone else, but I also know it's what they deserve. even if it's not with me. I've accepted that I may never be the one they choose, but I will always care about them deeply. Sometimes the most beautiful love stories are the ones that never unfold, and that's a reality I've had to learn to embrace. I see them in the arms of someone else, and while it's not easy, I've learned to smile and let them go with grace. It's funny how you can care for someone so deeply, even when you know they're never going to be yours. Love doesn't always work out the way we want it to, but sometimes just loving someone from afar is enough. I may never be the one they hold close, but I'll always cherish the moments we share, no matter how small they are. Even though they have someone else, I'll always hold on to the hope that our paths might cross again, in a different way, in a different time. Even if they never see me as more than a friend, I'll always treasure the quiet connection we share. It's painful to see them with someone else, but in a strange way, it also makes me wish them nothing but happiness. I've learned that sometimes love is letting go, even when you desperately want to hold on. It's hard to watch them move on with someone else, but I've come to accept that their happiness means more than my unspoken wishes. Though they may never know, there's a part of me that will always care for them, no matter who they're with. In a perfect world, maybe things would be different, but for now, I'll hold on to my feelings and let them be free. Sometimes you have to love someone enough to let them be happy, even if it's not with you. Love doesn't always work out the way you want, but that doesn't make it any less beautiful. I watch them laugh, and even though I wish I were the one making them smile, I know their happiness is worth more than my desires. I try to silence the ache in my chest, but it's hard when the one you want is already taken. Seeing them with someone else is a reminder that love isn't something you can force. It's something that finds you when you least expect it. It's strange how deeply you can care for someone, even when you know you'll never be the one to hold their heart. I've come to realize that sometimes being in love is about being selfless, even when it's hard to let go. They don't know how much I care, and maybe they never will, but that doesn't stop me from wishing them the best. Every time they laugh with someone else, I can't help but feel a pang of longing, but I know that's just part of love. Love doesn't always mean being together. Sometimes it's about quietly supporting someone else's happiness. It's not easy, but I've learned that sometimes love is more about giving than receiving. Watching them with someone else hurts, but it's also a reminder that true love is about seeing them happy, even from a distance. Though they'll never know the depth of my feelings, I'll always cherish the moments we share, no matter how fleeting. I've had to learn to accept that my love for them doesn't mean they have to love me back. I try to be happy for them, even when it's hard to watch them hold someone else's hand. Maybe one day I'll find someone who sees me the way I see them, but for now, I'll hold my feelings close. It's hard to let go of someone you care about, but sometimes you have to choose their happiness over your own unspoken desires. I see them with someone else, and even though it stings, I remind myself that love is never a competition. It's bittersweet to watch them laugh with someone else, but I know that their happiness is worth the sacrifice. I'll always love them, even if they'll never feel the same way, because love isn't about being loved back. It's about giving without expectation. Some love stories aren't meant to be told, but that doesn't mean they're any less real. It's hard to see them with someone else, but I know I have to accept it if I truly care about their well-being.